Hey guys, Peptide Buddy here. Hope everyone's doing well. Today we're going to be talking about what I am surprised to see is probably one of the coolest peptides out there, and maybe one of the world's most underrated peptides. Delta-Sleep-Inducing Peptide, DSIP. With roles in sleep, sex hormones, stress, depression, addiction, pain, immunity, and cancer, just to name a few. So this could be an hour and a half long, but you know, for the sake of time and what I do, cut to the chase and evidence based, we're going to keep it shorter. Just focusing on sleep and sex hormones, though, in the future, we could definitely dive into more of these. So please like and subscribe. Let's get to it. So, since its founding in the 70s, way back when, 1977, lots of research has been done, but there's been a lack of finite conclusions that have been drawn. And I think that's beautiful because we know it's involved in a ton of different physiologic and biochemical pathways. And there's so much more that we can study in the future. Like, just for starters, in rats, it's been seen to be an anticonvulsant, antihypertensive, lowering blood pressure, and analgesic in reducing pain. And even in people, it's been shown that it could possibly be used to help with opiate and alcohol withdrawal. For starters, like I said, like there's so much that DSIP is involved with: endocrine activity, roles in ACTH, the corticotropin, and HPTA, involvement with luteinizing hormones, somatotropins, and more. Serotonergic activity possibly can help as an antidepressant. Dopaminergic activity, roles in addiction. Metabolic activity as an anti-free radical and antioxidant, possibly involved with anti-aging and longevity. And finally, anti-tumor activity and immunity, showing possible implications in anti-metastasis and cancer prevention. But for the sake of this video in particular, we're just going to focus on sleep and sex hormones. So let's just quickly review the phases of sleep. So this is called DSIP, Delta Sleep Inducing Peptide, so we'll get there briefly. But if you look at an EEG or an electroencephalogram, you'll see that during different phases of sleep, there are different type of waves or rhythms that are shown. So when you're awake and alert with your eyes open, going about your day, you'll see beta waves. When you're awake but resting with your eyes closed, you'll see alpha waves. N1, or stage 1 of sleep, is light sleep, where you see theta waves. N2, or deeper sleep, is where you see the sleep spindles and K complexes. N3, or stage 3, is where you get your slow wave sleep, deep sleep, non-REM sleep, and you see these delta waves. And finally, REM, or rapid eye movement, is where you see beta waves. Okay, so we're just right back here to remind everyone what the name is: delta sleep inducing peptide. So we think that it's involved primarily with delta sleep. So let's take a look. Multiple studies have been shown at this point that it's damn near impossible to pin down what DSIP does in the role of sleep or draw finite conclusions. Some have shown no impact on sleep. Another double-blind study shows that it reduces sleep latency, or time it takes to fall asleep in chronic insomniacs, which I think is pretty cool, pretty big deal. Another indicates it promotes slow-wave sleep. And finally, there seems to be that it suppresses paradoxical sleep, which I know sounds like a double negative, but that just means it decreases the presence of REM sleep. And fun fact, REM sleep is also known as paradoxical sleep because it is a paradox, right? The mind is going on these adventures while the body is sleeping, dreaming while asleep. And finally, let's just go over the role in sex hormones. So, like everything here, more research needs to be done before we can draw finite conclusions, but two pieces in the late 80s have kind of dove into this a little bit. So one showed that DSIP stimulates the release of LH, or luteinizing hormone alone, but not FSH, or follicle stimulating hormone. And as LH stimulates the testes to produce testosterone, maybe there's some anabolic properties. Maybe it could stimulate the release of testosterone or even be used to increase test in individuals. And another showed that DSIP inhibits release of somatostatin. And as we know, somatostatin is pretty much the inhibitory signal in the release of growth hormone releasing hormone. So maybe there's promotion of GHRH, growth hormone, and IGF-1 to promote those HGH type effects, things like muscle building, or increased lean body mass, better sleep, all of these things that we know growth hormone and these different peptides are involved with. So biggest point is that this is like the coolest peptide I've stumbled upon, and there needs to be a ton more research done. And I'm happy to kind of dive into these other components, things that we mentioned at the beginning, and all these different roles from dopamine to serotonin to stress and depression, addiction and pain, and who knows what else. And just all in all, thank you all for watching. I hope everyone's doing well, and please like and subscribe. I'm really appreciating it. All right, take care.